Hi. In this video, I'm going to introduce you to the expression if and only if, and I'll show you how to use it. There's nothing in this video that you couldn't just figure out if you thought really carefully. So if as I'm going along you get a little bit confused, just pause the video and just kind of think about it, because everything just makes sense and it's all just sort of English. Okay, first of all, I just want to say that mathematicians use as an abbreviation for if and only if, we write IFF. So when you're reading a sentence, if you see I with two F's, you read if and only if. But it just saves space when you're writing, you can write IFF. If you'd rather write if and only if, that's fine. But you have to be able to read IFF as if and only if. Okay, so here's the story. If a statement and its converse are both true, we can replace the two statements with one if and only if statement. So it's just a way of saying, sort of shortening things and taking two statements and making them into one. So before I get into that, you just have to notice something. If P, then Q, that's the same as saying P only if Q. Okay, for example, if a polygon is a square, then it's a quadrilateral. That's a true statement. So this means that every single square is a quadrilateral. Right? So that means that you could not be a square, or shape could not be a square unless it's a quadrilateral. Okay? You can't have a three-sided square, for example. Okay, so another way of saying this is that a polygon is a square only if it's a quadrilateral. That doesn't mean that every quadrilateral is a square. It just means a polygon can be a square only if it's already a quadrilateral. Okay? So we're just going to use this sort of information about the only if being the same as if P then Q. And then we can just use this to tighten up the sentences that we'll talk about. So here's an example. If you were a human, then you were a person. Okay, and this is definitely a true statement. It wasn't always considered true back when some humans weren't considered to be people, but here we know that every human is a person. The converse of that statement is if you are a person, then you are a human. That's also true. So this means that we can rewrite these two statements together in one sentence using if and only if. And here's how we do it. You could say you are a person if and only if you are a human. So that means these two things, you are a person and you are a human, those are basically, they mean exactly the same thing. Or they might be a different way of looking at something. You are a human sort of sounds a bit more biological, and you are a person maybe sounds more about like human rights or something. But these two, all people are humans and all humans are people. Okay, you are a person if and only if you are human. Because these two things are equivalent, you can also flip the sentence if you want. You are a human if and only if you are a person. And that still means exactly the same thing. With the other type of sentences constructions that we were looking at, flipping totally changed the meaning, but in this case, either one is fine. Okay, so just to review, if a statement and its converse are both true, you can replace both of those statements with one statement using if and only if. Okay, good luck with it.